part, but we are here every step of the way. We are helping you. We are making sure you're getting the resources you have. And I essentially am going to walk you through step by step what the site is going to look like and what the program is going to look like that you are going to hear the registration. So it's going to be a little different, but I'll explain each step as it goes. All righty. First and foremost, let me pull up the Road to Xavier for you guys in 1 second. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, having issues. Hold on 1 sec, guys, I apologize.
For
All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay, here we go. Now, I will pull up the Road to Xavier. Okay, perfect. All righty, so all of you should recognize and should know this website. So this should be your best friend from here going on forward. So you should know a lot of the ins and outs. A lot of you can register on here are all the Muskie chats. So many of you guys asked about recordings, ways to access the last ones. All right here on the right side is where the Muskie chats are recorded and where previous ones are going to be housed. And then there will be one about every other week that you can access. So there'll be some about your student ID coming up. There'll be some about the cafeteria, about banking on campus, about a number of things. So make sure you're reading your newsletter and be aware of the report. But the thing that you all should be doing and looking at is going to be this next steps tab. This is literally every single process that's going to be walking through what you need to complete from here until you officially start school. So there are a lot of things. Many of you have already started doing your placement test for math and foreign language. That'll be on here. And then on Monday, the 18th, is when you can officially start the registration process. And that's one of these steps on here as well. So make sure you are reading through each step and you are reading carefully. It is pretty explained very well on there, but there are some questions that people have, and that's what today is for. But make sure you're reading through everything, and it'll kind of walk you through a step-by-step process. Be aware that there are going to be some steps you have to manually check off, and some that you will automatically check off when you complete the step. So make sure that you are going through that in every single one. There's some about living learning communities on there. There's going to be some about the application process for a number of different things. And then there's going to be some about Manresa and the orientation and things coming forward from here. So just make sure you're using all that. As many of you, if you've been on this site for a while, you know there used to be a visitation tab right here. That is no longer there for a specific reason. That is now going to be, this spot right here will be the Manresa tab information. So that will be coming soon, and this will be your orientation program. All information, everything will be here. So be aware of that coming down the pipe. Now, what's going to happen on Monday, and it's just the start of registration. There's not everyone has to start registering on that day. It is a timeline, so it's going to be from Monday the 18th all the way through about the mid to late June, or so I think June 19th. So you have plenty of time that you will be able to take time, register, and look at which classes are going to be a good fit for you and what you're going to enjoy. All right, so once you have that, what you would do is you would click on the registration for the first semester courses. However, since this fake profile already has completed, what I'm going to do is go a different route. So, but you would access everything through this Road to Xavier website, just so you're aware. However, once you are done with, so from the following semesters and years on out, what you will have, and actually what you look at, is going to be the Xavier University tab. So you would go, once you are a current student and you're registering for classes every single semester, you would go to this page. After you start classes, after you start as a student here at Xavier, you are no longer going to be using Road to Xavier. So you're already at Xavier. There is no road that you need to be on from here on out. So you'll use the Student Hub. This is what every student, and this is how they access it. So they go through our website. They would click on current students in the top. And this is a lot of information that current students will need and how they access different things. This will be how you get to your email. This will be how you can pay your bill. Canvas is the system that our teachers will use to send out information and assignments, a number of things. There's clubs. There's going to be a lot of options on here. This is also how you can sign up for the X2 Alert Me as well. It's where you're going to get text, emails, and calls. Parents are also welcome to sign up for it about anything happening on or around campus. Honestly, students really use it for notice. So it's going to inform you on a lot of things. But this is kind of your hub of information that you'll have as a student. One of the things on there is the self-service. So this is what you would click on, and this is how you would access the banner system. This is how our students register for classes. However, you're going to access it straight through the Road to Xavier website. So make sure you're going into that website the first time you do this. There will be in banner, though, there will be a system. This page will open up, and you'll see Road to Xavier new freshman registration. So you would click on this information, and you'll see a bunch of things pop up. This is going to be information about the classes and about a number of things, and I'll walk through each one. The checker registration is going to, if you click on it, it'll show you the registration ticket time now. So after the first semester you sign up when you're a student here, each student will be assigned a time slot for the register for classes. It depends on a number of things. It depends on seniority. It's going to depend on major sometimes. Depends on honors programs, whatnot, what that time slot can be. But it'll have your time ticket here, information and hours and whatnot that you have so far. So that's one piece that you can go on out. Then the really good stuff is just look up classes through Streamline Class Search. This is where you will filter for the semester you're looking for. So fall semester 2015 is the one you would go. You would submit it, and it's going to bring you up to this generalized page. This page is where you can filter by a number of different things. You can choose the major or class that you are looking for. So I could do accounting. You could choose the course number if you know exactly the number of the class that you want to sign up for and have everything laid out. You can choose that. You can go by title. You can look for certain amounts of credits on campus, whether it's different MBA programs or off campus, things like that. Which term you want it in. Maybe you can search for a certain teacher if you like one of them a lot. You want to have them again for another core class. You can definitely do that. You can look for classes in the evening, weekends, day, whatever is suitable for that time period. And then you can filter down by a number of different types of things. These are types of classes that students are required to take. One of them will be this first year seminar course. What I usually recommend starting off is don't worry about any of these things and just do a generalized search. So you will just click on the major or whatever class you're looking in, and you will do a generalized search for that area. So example, accounting. I would do a generalized class search. It's going to pull up every single accounting class offered at Xavier for that semester of fall 2015. So you can see there are quite a few, and you will have the opportunity and be able to look through what these all mean. So there'll be the class number, the CRN number, the subject, the course number, and the section number. So all that information will be there. What most students will be doing once they are current students here is they will look all this information up before their time slot. So a lot of times students will physically draw out a schedule of what their next semester might be like. And most of the times the academic advisor that you will have is going to require you to meet with them to take a look at the classes you are taking, if they are the right fit, how your major is going, how your minor is going, how your multiple majors are doing, things like that. So oftentimes you will have a template drawn out and you will bring all this to them in advance. So, and then you'll have the days. So you'll look at Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So MWF is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. R is going to be Thursday, and then T is going to be just Tuesday. So TR is Thursday, T is Tuesday, just so you're aware. But this will have, there's some that are just Wednesday, just Friday classes. You'll need to know which ones are offered and then at which time slot. That way you can kind of organize. In some semesters, you may not have class till 10 a.m. Some semesters, you may not have class till noon. It just depends on how you build your schedule and what schedule is available. How students usually go about this depends on the student. Some students like to have earlier classes and get done before 2 or noon, whatever it may be. Some students will pick their majors classes they need for that given semester and then build their other classes around what's interesting for their core. It really just depends on you as a student, how many majors or minors you have, and then what is available that given semester. Then you will see the cap. This is the amount of students that are in that class. As you can see, they usually try to be close to 20 or so. We like to see a smaller class as more individualized, more focused. So we like to have most of them are going to be about 20. So you'll see the cap. You'll see the actual amount of students that are signed up so far. So for example, this has 20, and then there are 3 classes remaining, or 3 student spots remaining. If there are certain things where it's your major or something's going on, you can talk to the chair of those departments and they can help you. Sometimes they'll write you into the course. Sometimes they'll say, wait a little bit and we'll try later and see if spots, if you'll drop, that sort of thing. If there is a class you absolutely need, we are going to get you in that class. We want you to graduate in 4 years. You will be taking these courses and you will get to the ones you need. So don't worry about if there's one that for some reason you did not get in. That's okay. You have 4 years to still take that course in that class. So you have plenty of time. Don't feel like if you didn't get into the math class your first semester, that's okay. There's going to be a science class instead you could take, or a language class, or a foreign language, whatever it may be. So don't feel like you have to get each class that first semester. You're going to have plenty of time to be able to do this. But another nice, helpful thing is there will be a waiting list that students can sign up for. Some classes will have these, some will not. It just depends on the class. But for example, here you can see there's a 5 list waiting list. What this means is obviously you'll be put on the waiting list if the cap is full. And then you will get a notification via your email of when there is a spot open in that class. From the time you get the email, you do have 24 hours to respond and sign up for that class. If you do not, then you will be taken off the waiting list, and then the next person bumped will get that email. So it really just depends. Respond quickly, and you can make sure you get in it. And then these are kind of talking more about the waiting list or the extended list. It just depends. Most of this is not really going to matter. It's the waiting list is the important part. Then you're going to see your instructor who's teaching the class. Some students like to filter this. Some students will go, I had a really good philosophy class. I want to take my second philosophy class with this professor again. And you'll see which ones. You can scroll down if you like one. You will see the dates and you'll see the location. Most of the locations are going to be depending on what's available at that time. So this gives you an idea of the generalized site. The last thing is the attribute. You'll see whether it's an honors program. So for example, only honors students can sign up for the honors programs. So make sure you're filtering for that. There are weekend, there are degree programs that students can do. You are still able to take evening and weekend classes. Some students will choose to take a weekend course in the middle of their semesters. They can do one class over a 3-weekend process instead of the whole semester. It just depends on what you're up to. We usually recommend, and this will be on the steps, that you don't start off doing these weekend or evening classes. Start off doing the typical day, whether it's 8 a.m. or all the way up to 5 p.m. classes. Start off doing that, and then you can filter in and choose once you're familiar with courses and the load that you need. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I know we have a lot of questions, and I'm going to see if I can answer some of these so far. All righty then. All right. You guys have a lot of questions. Oh, you guys are good. I'm glad you guys are talking while I had issues. That's good. All right. Does everyone have to take the placement test? The answer is yes. So there'll be 2. There'll be the math one and the foreign language one. Everyone is required to take it for a number of reasons. It's a quick way for us to get to know your skills in a certain thing. It is not, don't think of it as a stressful test. It's just an idea to get to know where you're at in that given course, in that class. One thing we are able to do is you are able to retake the math test as many times as you want. So if you felt like you got placed in the math that wasn't the level you thought you were, you can still retake it. There are training modules that will help you. There are places that they'll walk you through maybe some of the areas you struggled with, and then you can retake it as many times until you register for classes. So that's something. We do recommend with math particularly, but other subjects at AP across the board, and this will be in the next steps. If you aren't quite sure that the AP credit that you have yet, you're still waiting to get back that answer, we always recommend you don't sign up for the class, just in case you did get that credit, then you wouldn't have to take that class and you have to change your schedule again. But the main reason is if you didn't get it, that's okay, then you still have plenty of time to take that class afterwards. So if you're waiting to hear back from the score, don't feel like you have to sign up for class. In fact, we recommend we wait, and you'll see that as well. All right. Okay. One second. Sorry, let me figure out. All right. Will class registration be available at 12:01 a.m. on Monday? That I do not know. I want to say it's going to be available in the evening, but if you check Road To Xavier periodically, it'll pop up and it'll say class registration is available. I don't know exactly what time that goes live, though. It is beneficial to register sooner rather than later. In other words, are you more likely to get your first choice of class if you register earlier? The answer is going to be yes. If you register for classes, you're going to have the first pick of a litter, and it's going to just more likely that you'll get into that class if there's one in particular you're looking for. So the answer is yeah, you're more likely to get those classes. It really is up to you, though. Sometimes students like to take time and figure it out and look at all the courses offered and just get a sense of what classes are out there that I can pick from. But usually what we're going to recommend and what I kind of recommend is look at your major courses first, ones you're starting off with, get a sense of which ones you need, and then find ways to fit in the core courses around those. That way you have a sense of what you really need in that semester, and then you can fit in different time slots depending on what's interesting or what's available at that time. And what's a class? The thing you learn. All right. How do you know where to start/pick the classes? So that will be on that system I just showed you. So that'll be at Road To Xavier. You'll pick the courses, and I can pull that back up if we have specific questions about it. But again, it'll go walk through. You'll filter for the class you need. So if you are an accounting major, as I said, or you are a math major, whatever it may be, filter by that and look at the general courses that you need. If you do have particular questions about major courses or any of the courses we offer, academic advising is going to be available all the time. So reach out to them. Their office is available to help you. They want to make sure that you're aware of the class you're taking. Again, each of the steps will walk you through that, and you're always welcome to call the admission office at any time as well. There will be hours that there is a phone that you can call, and we'll give you that number directly that you can reach out to us and make sure you're getting the course and the questions answered. Do be aware, I know parents usually ask this question a lot as well. We do check everything that the students do. So we will submit or you will submit the class that you've made, the registration that you've made, and we will double check it. That way, if you're a nursing major, you're not taking an accounting class that you don't need. So we do check to make sure you're going through the process and that everything is the way it needs to be. Okay. Is there a list of required classes for each major? Where can that information be accessed? There is a list of majors. If you go on the website, there is a list of the classes. However, since the core curriculum has been changing, I don't know if those are completely up to date. I would have to get back to you on that. But we always recommend, and usually what's the best thing is if you have specific questions about general courses, as far as majors or whatever, it's nice to contact the chair of the department and send an email if you have specific questions about it. You can always email me. I can see what information I can find, but it would be under the major tab on those courses if that is the most up-to-date option we offer still. Okay. Okay, am I a part of the honors program? And I emailed my admission counselor. She said that I would have an honors advisor. Because of this, my schedule would most likely already be complete. And when it got to me, how do I coordinate with this with my advisor, and when do we meet? So the honors programs, typically they do help set it up for you. That is part of it. Honors programs usually get first pick because they have to take some of the specialized classes with that. If you reached out to your advisor, you can reach out to them at any time. So if you aren't aware of it, then you can reach out to the general advising office at any time, or reach out to your admissions counselor and they can help set that up as well. Students are able to meet with their advisor at any time. There will be a part specifically in Manresa, the orientation program, where we have a time set aside for students to meet with them if they wanted to add a double major, add a minor, maybe change the major or weren't aware of a few things. So we are helping you through every step. But throughout the semester, you can meet with them and drop by anytime, schedule a meeting with them, call them, talk to them. They're there to help. And sometimes they may even be your professor as well. How do we know what classes are required for the core curriculum? That, again, there is a core website. Let me see if I can pull that up. Again, with the new core, there are things that are changing. But to give you an idea, it's going to be 2 math courses. You require 2 science courses. It's going to be, it used to be 3. It may have changed and been 2 now. It will be 2 foreign language courses unless you test it out of one. 2 math unless you test it out of one. There'll be 2 philosophies, 2 theologies, and then there are a number of fine arts electives that you take. So it's going to be about 45 to 48 credit hours depending on the major, if some of them double dip, and that sort of thing. Okay. There's a lot of questions, which is good. So it says Economics BS BA on my Road to Xavier. Thought it was Economics BA, possibly with a concentration in mathematics. What do I do? That I would recommend you email your counselor directly. We can take a look. It may just be the way it's labeled on Road to Xavier. I have to look at it particularly. It depends on a case-by-case basis. But you can also reach out to Academic Advising and anything. That just may be with the way it's labeled. How can I register my class without knowing what my AP scores? I kind of alluded that to already. We recommend that you don't take the class you're waiting for the scores to have, essentially. That way, if you do end up getting the class, you don't have to worry about it. If you didn't, then you can still register for the class at a later date. Okay. How do we know how many classes we need to take? To give you an idea, a typical student, in order to be a full-time student, you have to take at least 12 credit hours. It's a typical class is going to be right around 3 credit hours per class. Depends on, some are 2, some are 1. It just depends on the class. Most classes are going to be about 3 credit hours per class. Usually students are taking anywhere from 15 to 18 per semester. It just depends on the major sometimes, if they're a double major, and how much they want to fit in. Some semesters will be lighter. I had a friend when I was a student here. He took 24 credit hours, which was insane, but he was a double major and had a lot to do. So it's up to you. It depends on the semester and depends on what's available that semester. Okay, how do we know how many classes to take? I agree. How many do we need? How do you start planning your schedule if you're not quite sure what to expect? And is there anyone to access available online course before registration? You can do essentially what I just did. You can go to the student hub. You can click on it. You can see the classes available. I do recommend getting to know that site, playing around with it, filtering through different things, looking up on some of the classes. It's, I mean, just an idea of what's out there and what's available, especially some of the core classes you have to take. You can get an idea of what philosophy, some of them are going to be a philosophy of a number of different things. There's a philosophy, or there's a theology of world religion. There's a theology of particular religions. There's going to be philosophies on a number of different eras and time periods, and same with history, and it just depends on what's available. So you do have time to play around and do that. You can access that essentially through the student hub, I believe. If you don't, it will pop up on the next steps about that registration. Most students aren't doing it right away, so don't feel rushed. Most students are getting to know the system, asking questions, talking to their admissions counselor, talking to academic advisors, and they are doing it as they go. So don't feel like it has to be done within that 24-hour period. You have plenty of time. We give you time to do this. All right. If I got a 59 on the math placement, should I still sign up for calculus? I don't know what the 59 means in the math placement, but it should have given you a class that you were taken and that you were tested into. That is the class that you would start into. So you would take that level class and then the one above it for math in particular. There is one exception. If you were tested into math 105, you would be required to take that math course and then the next 2 above it. So the math 105 is going to be a refresher course, and then you have to take a 2 course on top of that. Like I said, it is possible to take the math placement test again. So if you aren't satisfied with where you're placed, keep retaking, keep using the modules, and then keep going through that.
Somebody from nearby, 815.
Okay, so I lost my place. I already have a few college credits. How do I know what classes they count for at Xavier? So the credit evaluation office will be going through those soon. We wait for the final transcripts to see what those credits were. And then they will look at the college credit you've taken, and they'll look at our curriculum. If the 2 match up, then you will be tested into or out of that class, essentially. So you wouldn't have to take it. If they don't, you will at least get an elective for it if it's from a nationally accredited school. and it's a C or higher. So either way you would credit, it just depends on if it's that class or if it's going to be that elective, that a random elective that you would have. So it just depends on the course. Credit Evaluation Office goes through each of those courses, and then they will send you, I believe, an email about what you tested into and how that credit is received. Okay. I took the foreign language test last week, but I have not gotten my results back. What does that mean? We wait until Monday. So Monday the 18th is when you will get all the results for the placement. So that is when you'll get the foreign language test that you had. We would recommend that students take the course or their class that they took in high school for foreign language. If you don't want to take that language again in college, that's okay. I took Latin. I took the Latin placement test. I was tested in the 201. Didn't think I wanted to continue with Latin, so I took Spanish when I came to Xavier. So you do have time to look at those. Don't feel like you have to do that language. If you did do that language and you want to do it again, you would start off in the level that you were placed in, and then you would do that one and the one above it. If you were placed in the highest level, then you would just need to do that one level and you would be done. So you would take 1 instead of 2. If that's the case, then we usually recommend that you go ahead and take a minor. It would be maybe 4 or 5 more classes or something like that you would add on to it, and it's 1 less you're going to take. So it just depends. We recommend if you're at the proficiency, give it a thought, something to think about. Okay. Should you take the foreign language placement test before registering? The answer is yes. You are required to take those. I believe you have to check off those steps before you are able to register for your classes. How do I arrange my credits to accommodate my desired study abroad? Should I speak with a counselor before registering for my first semester? It depends on what you're studying and what you want to study abroad. Most students aren't doing until junior year, so you have plenty of time. Students usually do sophomore and junior year as times to study abroad. Some senior year, but freshmen usually spent getting to know campus life, campus activities. So you can still register for classes. If you have an idea of what you want, we can talk about timeline, what's available. If you want to do a whole semester, if you want to do a week, it's whatever is up to you. You can email me, or you can email your specific admissions counselor or your academic advisor. But usually I would recommend go ahead and sign up for this semester. This semester is really not going to come into play as much because it'll be the upper level classes you're more likely to take abroad anyway. So you'll get some of the intro level classes under your belt before doing that. All right. Can you join the honors program at any time? It is possible to meet with the honors advisor, the honors counselor, so you can walk into them and talk about it. It just depends on when. You can't do it at any time because you have to take the core classes at the honors level. But if you've taken the first semester and you realize you want to do the honors program, walk into her office. Her name's Sandy Koros. She's the general counselor. I can give you her information if you want. And then you can walk in and talk about joining the honors program. So she'll be more than happy to talk to you then. So if I took the foreign language in high school, is that the one I want for college, the exam? Again, you would take that language on the exam, but you do not have to take that class in college if you don't want to. How do you know what classes to take? Do I need to talk to the academic advisor? I know where the list is, but is the master list requirements? But is there a master list requirements? By that, I'm not quite sure. There are some prerequisites for certain classes you need, so you have to be aware of the prerequisites that would be on that streamlined class search that I pulled up. So be aware that will show you that and what is required. Some may need this math class. My example I always use is physics. There are certain math classes that are required before you take certain upper level physics classes. So be aware of that. Most of the intro classes you're going to be taking are going to just be a part of that process. Again, each of these steps will talk about some of the things I'm just trying to help you out and reiterate many of these now. But make sure you are reading the steps very clearly. They do a good job, and if you have questions after reading those, then you can talk or reach out to our office or academic advice. And then certain classes, depending on your major, you could talk to us or you can talk to academic advising. You can call their office at any time. Again, ask them questions. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you. If you are undecided, they do an amazing job. I came in as an undecided student. They give you an academic advisor to help you think about what you're good at, what you enjoy, what you like. You can always talk to me since I was that background as well. So, any suggestions for nursing students? Typically, since nursing has a pretty rigorous schedule, they're one of the lucky students that their courses are pretty much assigned for them already because they have a time schedule they have to go into. There are a few core classes that they can fit into there, but a lot of nursing students, it's kind of preset for you because of the class you have to take and then the time you have to take. Could you give us an example of a regular or typical freshman schedule for someone undecided? Yeah, I can actually walk through that now. So I'm going to screen share again. I'm going to pull this system back up, and I can give you an idea of what students are doing. So like I said, most students are going to draw out their schedule. So they'll put Monday, Wednesday, Friday on top of the sheet, and then they'll budget their time. So then they would look. Most students, so it would depend on your major. I would recommend, so look at whatever major you're in, look at those courses first. So if you are, let's say you are, what do I want to do? Let's say let's do psychology. So if you're a psychology major, you do a class search for psychology. You'll see all the interest. So you'll see the courses. You'll see 101, 102. These are the typical first ones you're going to take. Some of these are going to be required before you can take the upper level one. So if you look at these numbers, these are a good indication of what the order of classes you take. You're going to take 101, and then you're going to move up to eventually the late 100s and then 200s. That's kind of typical for core, or for major level courses, sorry. So you'll go through those majors, and then I would recommend once you've clicked, so let's say you want 101 efficient reading and study skills. So you're going to learn more about that. You would click on or copy this. So you do the CRN number and the course number and everything. So then you would be able to, actually, I think you can just click on it. And it would pop, so you'd see more about the class. You're going to see any of the books or materials that are required for the course. And we will have one later on this summer about getting information. There is no information in this course yet. And then you would be able to, if there were, you would see the books that you need. Be able to go on our bookstore. You can order them through us, Amazon. It's up to you. Again, we'll have another Muskie chat with the bookstore to talk about that option. So then you'll see this. And then once you are able to do this, you can see more specifically about the class. So that's just a way to click on and learn more about the class. Some will have certain attributes that say what this class is described as and what it entails. It just depends. So, and then once you have one, you'll be able to click and add it to, it will add it to a box that would be down here. So there would be a box that shows up that has all the classes you would be taking in that semester and that you had. And so you would have the class search that you would do. So that's not live right now, so I can't do that yet, but you'll be able to click on it and it would add it to a list of the classes you're taking. And again, that would appear down here. And then you can choose to reset that list if you don't want to. You can look at the timeline and everything. Then, so let's say you do that. So you take maybe 2 or 3, I would usually say about 3 or so psychology courses. So you would take, depends on the major again, so it's not specific to every person. And then you would look at a handful of the core courses. So again, it's going to be about 15 to 18 credit hours or so. So you would take maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you have 3 classes a day. Tuesday, Thursday, you could have 2 or 3 classes a day, depends. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's going to be that schedule, typically, those classes 3 times a week. And then you would have the Tuesday, Thursday, or longer classes. You would have those 2 times a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be shorter. Some students like to do more on Tuesday, Thursday, or more on Wednesday, Wednesday, Friday. Have to Tuesday, Thursdays free, it just depends. So, all right, so you would go through that. So typically, most students are looking at anywhere around 5, 6 classes. So some more, some less. Again, it's going to be different for each student. Then I would think about some of the core classes. So you know you have to take a general science, unless you are a science major. You know that. You know you have to take math, you have to take language, you have to take foreign language. You will take fine arts credits, take philosophy, and take theology. So again, that'll be on the website. We can pull that up. But let's say I want to see what classes in theater. Let's take theater. So we'll do theater as a fine arts credit that I would take. So I would see what's available. I can see that there is intro to theater that I could take. There's acting 1. There's going to be improvisation, and you can look at the time. Does it fit around the classes you already have in place? Do I know the professor, and do I want to take that professor? You'll see where it is, maybe a little blurb about what it is and how it fits in, and you can see some of the things about that. So let's say I don't have an 8:30 class yet, and I already have a 10 o'clock class for my major, so I can't take a 10 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What else can I take? What's available 8:30? And you can filter by time through that original page. There's an 8:30 class about improvisation on Tuesday, Thursday. I have that spot free. I want to learn more about it, I can take it. So that gives you an idea of some things. So the core classes are the ones where you can really explore, have fun with it, take things that are interesting. Use this time so you know to take math. There are a lot of math, different types of math courses. Philosophy, there are a lot of different types of philosophy courses. And I can do that now so you can get a sense of some of the philosophy courses. so you can see and tailor some that are interesting to you. You will take an intro to philosophy first. The next elective, though, is up to what that student wants. So after you scroll past all the intros, you can see some about mind, body, and the person. There's some about models of knowledge and action. There's human progress. There's a lot of different things. There's some about Plato. There's some about other philosophers. There's a lot of different aspects you can use to do that. So it really just depends on what you're interested in. So use the core as a launch pad to explore and figure out what's out there while taking those classes. Okay. I hope this is helping a little bit. If you are confused and I'm talking too fast and I'm not making sense, please let me know. Let me scroll back up to some of the questions. All right. Is there a key score on the math placement test? For example, if your placement score was greater than XX, then don't worry about taking it again. I do not know that. So it depends on what you were placed in. If you are satisfied with the level you were placed in, then that's fine. You would take that and then the one above it. It's just up to you. 105 is the only one I know that you would take that and then you would be required to take the 2 math required for the core for that. So that just depends. Could you give an example of a regular typical freshman schedule undecided? Yes, you're going to be playing around with the core. So this is your time to think about what it is you want to do or might want to do. If you're interested in psychology, then take a psychology course. If you're interested in physics, take a physics course. These courses are going to account towards your core curriculum. So don't feel like if you don't major in them that it's going to be a waste of your time sometimes. You use this time to explore, to get to know and challenge yourself in the things you might want to do. So I wait to the last possible minute. You have until second semester sophomore year to decide your major because you have to be able to complete it within the 4 years. So use that time, ask questions, meet with professors, talk about options. I did a Spanish course, I did math, I did I was interested in psychology, so I took a psychology course, and then I did some fine arts credits, and I think I did an English class right there. So that's 5 classes I took undecided my first semester, trying to figure out what it was I was interested in, what I wanted to make a major. Okay. All right, sorry, I lost my spot. All right, I'm currently going into a business major. What do I need to do if I want to switch major? If you know what you want to switch to right now, you can reach out to our office. We can change it. If you don't know or you're considering options, or if you want to add a double major or a minor, you can do that during Manresa, or you can do that when you get here on campus. Essentially, you just meet with your advisor, tell them you want to change it or you want to add another one, and they can take care of that for you right away. How do we know who our advisor is? Many of them will be assigned, so there'll be information as you're going through this on the side of the process next steps about the academic advising officer. You can always call them. Some of them are not assigned yet because we don't quite know who's available in the summer, and we want to make sure your questions are answered. Most of the time, they will be professionals that are in your area or your degree. So if you are a business, you will have a business professor as your academic advisor. So they know and are very aware of the business core and can help recommend things, kind of help you along with that. If you are undecided, you'll be a general academic advisor. It'll be someone in the academic advising office that can help you think about what it is you want to major in, ways to go about that, explore things, that sort of thing. How do we know who our advisors are? I just said that. If you are assigned a specific advisor, you will be. Again, it depends on a case-by-case person. If you have questions now, you can always reach out to our office again for academic advising. Most of them will be assigned throughout the process. It just depends, again, on who's available. I will be assigned an advisor to help schedule my ROTC classes. Is that just my general advisor? That I don't know. ROTC is a whole different ballgame. You'd have to reach out to their office in particular to see who that is. My guess is it would be your general academic advisor. What should I do if I'm going to double major? Again, you can do that during Manresa or the first week you're on campus. You can meet with them and say, I want to add this, or go to that department and you can say, hey, I want to add major, and they'll take care of it for you. They'll tell you the right people to talk to. I can give you names of the chairs if you would like. Just send me an email and I can write my email down in a second. Just to confirm again, if you want to meet with an advisor prior to registering for classes, how do I know who my advisor is? Again, that's something that would be on Road to Xavier, would be popped up, or you can always call academic advising office. When we see foreign language scores, again, that'll be on Monday the 18th that you'll get your official score on what class you were placed in. So 5 classes per semester is typical. Yes, depends on the class and the credit it is, but since each class is about 3 credit hours or so, it's a minimum of 12. I would say most students are taking 5 to 6. Some, it just depends. So it depends on double majoring, but I would say typical, especially an undecided student, first semester coming in, usually it's going to be about 6 or so classes, roughly 5 to 6, depending on the classes you are choosing and taking. Okay. 60 was the requirement for calculus. Can I just retake it? You can retake the test as many times as you want. If usually we'll just take the highest one you were placed in, though. So it's not going to, if you wanted a lower course, then that's not going to be the case. That's just, you were intelligent, you did a good job, that's what you were placed in. So 5 classes per semester, yes. Once you make your initial course selection, can you go back and make changes? Yes, you can. So you can always go back and change things. Whatever it may be, if you feel like you didn't want to do math class this semester, you wanted to wait a semester, you can go back and drop one and add one. It just depends on what's available. Again, there are ways you can get waitlist notifications if you want to do that. You can always go back and drop and add classes. Even halfway through the semester, there is a certain point, I think it's 2 or 3 weeks after the semester has started, you're still able to add or drop classes, you're able to drop classes without penalty. So it would be on your transcript as dropped class, and you wouldn't receive penalty or score or anything like that. So if there's a class that didn't particularly interest you or something went on and you wanted to change it last minute, there are ways you can still go in and drop that. So you do have a little bit of wiggle room as far as once the semester starts. How many credits does a student have to take to graduate? It is a minimum of 120 credit hours in order. That's a state law. That's a state requirement. So you do need a minimum of 120. Most students, that's not a problem. It's about the core curriculum. Total is going to be about 48 to 45 or so credits, depending on the major. Some double dip. It just depends. So there are a lot of space for students to still double major at a minor, and that seems to be the way education is trending. A lot of students are wanting to do that and are finding it helpful as well. So, are there some classes I take this summer online? There are a few online courses. We don't offer many, but it is possible you can sign up for some. It just depends on what you're interested in and what's available. Again, we'd have to look into it and see what it is you're interested in and what you could take online if you wanted to. Are there some classes I take this summer online? I just read that, sorry. When can I add minors and when should I start taking classes for that? You can add them again at Manresa or your first week right here. With minors and even double majoring, you would still have time to do that. You're going to have time to take these classes and fit them in. You can start reaching out to chairs and asking questions about that and how it would fit in. There are very few majors that are hard to double major in. It just depends. Most of them are going to be occupational therapy is one that it's really hard to double major in. Nursing is one that's hard to double major in. But I have a friend who's a senior here now. He's a quadruple major. He's taking 4 majors. So you are able to do that, and he's graduated in 4 years. So you are able to fit things in. You have time. So don't feel like you have to take all these courses directly the first time you get into Xavier. I'm a history major and an adolescent young adult education major. Will I have 2 academic advisors? The answer is yes. You would have one for each area that you choose to study. So you're going to take one for history and for education. So each major you'll have one specialized for that degree that you're going into to help you and check that degree. They want to make sure you're on task, you're on track, you're making things, making good time, getting out in 4 years, that sort of thing. Okay. Where can we get a list of the general education requirements? It would be on our website. Again, I will type in my email right now, actually, so you can email specific questions about certain majors. It's easier to do that than talk about them all at this moment in time. But we can talk about a list. I can pull up the website and we can get an idea of what each major has if you have specific questions about it. Okay. All right. Placement tests have to be taken for sure. I think I did that. How do you find out your academic advisor? There will be information on Road to Xavier about academic advising. If you have one assigned, it'll be there. If not, there'll be the general academic advising office that you can reach out to. This site will not allow me on because of more than 100 participants until 8:35. Well, there'll be another chat for it anyway. This is recorded right now, so you can always access it on Road to Xavier after this. So we do record it. If it need be, and you guys want more information, let me know. We can have another one, and just send me an email. Let me know. Is there a deadline for placement test? You would have to complete that step before registering for classes. So essentially, June 19th, whenever the last day of registration is, you would have to take those tests in order to be doing that. Would it be crazy to major in chem or minor in Spanish, bio, and American Sign Language, as well as going into pre-med? No, not at all. So, I mean, a lot of people, I had a friend who double majored in music, performance, and in pre-med, and they graduated in 4 years. I mean, those are two of the most time-consuming majors that we offer. So, not at all. We've shrunk the core curriculum to allow students to do this. So, that would be perfectly possible if you want. When will the online classes be available? That would depend on the class, and it depends on the time frame they have. Sometimes they have intersessions that are 2-week courses, some are 6-week courses. It just depends on the class. To be honest with you, online courses is something we're trying to grow, so there aren't as many as we would like. We're getting more and more as we progress onto that online system. I will have 19 credits to transfer from college. In general, how well do college 2 credits transfer? Like about how many will I get for a credit? It depends on the class and it depends on the school. Typically, core classes, you usually don't have a problem transferring at all. It's going to be the major level classes that most schools across the board want you to take their major level class. So it really just depends on what's available and what the course credit is. Again, the college the credit evaluation office will go through all the final transcripts about that. Yes, so the black test May 18th, that's fine. You can still take it. You have time to register. Don't feel like the deadline is 18th. You're going to have about a month or so to register for classes and change things. If you want to change it, that's okay. Yes, you will be able to take the placement. Once you take the math, you should get it right away. And then the foreign language will be available on the 18th. Is there a way to meet with an advisor, complete my schedule? Why are my questions going through privately? I do not know. It's something you have clicked maybe. There is a way to meet with you can call the academic advising office. We don't really do face-to-face meetings anymore. It's going to be all online, but you are able to call their office or our office at any time to help get your individual questions. I know this can be somewhat personalized, so make sure that you do call us and let us know what those questions are. We'd be happy to help you and walk through it. I picked my roommate group. What's the next step? If you have deposited and registered and everything with housing, that'll be going out later in the summer. They'll send out your roommate and then residence hall that you're in, and they'll give you a bunch of things that will come out later. I believe it's going to be late June, I think, that you'll get all of your housing information and all your roommates. Oh, after it depends on just check Road to Xavier. The next steps will be taking the placement test. If you haven't done that class registration, you will have to walk through each step before you can move on to the next one. So make sure you're doing that. Biggest advice is just read them carefully and make sure you are understanding what it is you're doing. It depends on where you are in that next step process. I prefer a room in double, but get put in a triple. How will I find my third roommate? Will I just get a random one? If you didn't assign one, then you could possibly get a random one. It just depends on the availability and the class and what's going on. So it is possible that you could have a random one. You will, more often than not, we pair up the people. If you wanted to find a third one and let residents go, you can do that as well, but it depends on the residence hall. You can only retake the math exam. I believe that is correct. Math exam you can retake as many times as possible. I do not think you can retake the foreign language. Are there any events in the summer that we can or should attend? The only big thing during the summer, we do have summer send-offs in certain areas of the country, so try to find one close to you where you can meet parents, can meet other parents from the area, you can meet other students that are coming to Xavier in the area. This way you get to know, and you can carpool back, you could fly back together, it just depends on where you are. But that's the big thing. Other than that, it's going to be a bunch of stuff on Road to Xavier you have to complete to get ready for the start of school. All right. Is there any, I know this has been bouncing around with questions. Is there any, does anyone have a particular question I have not answered about specific class? Is the website okay? Are you understanding how to access things? What are you most concerned about? I know a lot of this is a case-by-case base. It's dependent on the student, what's their major and that sort of thing. So it's very personalized. So it's kind of hard to do this in this whole setting. But I want to be able to let you guys know that you can always email or call our office or the academic advising office. But is there something about the site as a whole that you're confused with, or about what's going on next steps? If we are still concerned about registration, can an academic advisor help us plan our schedule on the phone before registration, or walk us through the process of registering? You can call our office. We will help walk you through and pull things. Academic advisor, yes, they will help you on the phone and they can walk you through. If you are absolutely lost or confused about certain classes, they will call. You can call. We just usually don't have in-person interviews anymore because it's just all hard to set up. So it's all online, but you are more than welcome to call. We will have special time periods, I think, in the evenings that you can call a number that someone will answer those questions if you have any problems with that. So there will be a specialized number specifically for class registration that you can call and reach out to. When will we receive our confirmed schedule? When is the last date we can change the schedule? You can change it, again, I said in the middle, or about 2 or 3 weeks once you started classes, you can add or you can drop certain classes. You may be able to add some. It just depends on the class and how far it is. If it's a couple days, you may be able to add it. Still, professor, it's up to the professor, honestly. But they will send once you make your schedule, you will send it to be confirmed. The academic advising office or your academic advisor will read through it. They'll confirm it and they'll send it back to you saying, this is good, congratulations. Or they will say, this is good, but I would recommend taking this class over this class. So you can constantly alter and change your schedule. So we will be helping you. We want you to get to know the system and get to know how to do things. And then we will review things and send it back to you. So you have time. Don't feel like if you did something that you're lost in the dark. We are here helping you each step of the way. Site is clear, good. The placement tests are taken this weekend. Can I register on Monday? Yes, that is correct. Where did you say we could find this session on Road To Xavier website? That will be, I can pull it up. So that'll be on your Road To Xavier. So you'll see all your next steps here. You'll see some of them are going to be about housing, about a number of things. So read through each of them. Take your time. That is, a lot of times you may skip a step. Be aware that you can manually check them off, or they will automatically begin with. But on that page farther down on the right, you have a whole section of Musketeer chats. So that'll be the upcoming one that you can register for, which will be about every 2 weeks, and then all the ones we've done so far. So if you want to learn more about housing, this on there, about a number of things. So feel free to do that. This one will be attached tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Do you get to know the names of other students in the dorm on the other side of the bathroom? I'm going to hold on that question for a second. It's believed your roommate with a sweet style. There was a talk of new social responsibility for minor available for the fall when I toured campus. What is this course created? Social responsibility, that would depend. I would recommend reaching out to that chair. I am not as familiar with that minor yet because it's new. We can send me an email. I can give you contact information for the best person to reach out for that. And just let me know. Again, it's herberte@xavier.edu. On the class thing, what is U and R? So Tuesday is T. TR is going to be Thursday. Sorry. I'm getting reversed. That's right. U is going to be Sunday. And then R is going to be Thursday. So I hope that cleared thing up. But U is Sunday, and then there's a Saturday one as S. When we register for classes, will it tell us the books, etc.? I'm studying athletic training, so it will tell me the stuff I need for classes. Yes. So you can read about the class a little bit. It will tell you what books you needed. Again, we will have one specifically for the bookstore later in the summer that you will get to know more about how to find those books, whether you want to do it through our bookstore or whether you want to do it through Amazon or another online site, and it'll be on there. Some of them may say, this is merely a recommendation book. It's not required. Some of them will be required. So you have time. You can order those in advance, and they can be delivered to your dorm room. You can pick them up at the bookstore, or you can do it on your own through another site. It's up to you. But they will be on that site. From the bookstore, you will go in, type in the classes, and we'll, again, have more information about this later on. If you're a finance major and an honors student, do you have 2 advisors? Yes, you will have one for each area that you choose to study, majors, minors, and honors programs. Yes, TR is Thursday. That is correct. Can we set up bookstore account before you come to Manresa? Once you have your class, you can start looking into it and play around with it yourself. We will have, again, one coming up. But yeah, you can order all your books well before Manresa. So, and that'll probably be coming up in maybe next 4 weeks or so. You'll be able to do that. Aren't there student tutors who can meet with you to have classes taken or extra help? Yes. So we have a number of offices available in the Content and Learning Commons. It's a CLC. It's kind of the one-stop shop for really anything academic you need. So that's where it's attached to our library. So you can study in there. There are private study rooms. There are group study rooms. There's a place where you can have, if you need help with writing, there's a writing center. There's a math lab. There's a tutoring lab for anything in particular. You can get your own private tutor. It does not cost you anything extra. You can also meet with professors at any point in time, schedule meetings with them for their office hours or meet with them outside of it. Sometimes they'll give you their number or email. They're there to help. Where can I find the recording on the housing chat? It'll be on the Road to Xavier on the right-hand side. Right now I have it pulled up. It'll be on the right side of your Road to Xavier tab, and it's going to be right here. Okay. Is there some way to find out about professors and the way they teach? There is ratemyprofessor.com. So some students will use that. It depends on if the students wrote about them or not. There is ways you can read about them. A lot of times you'll hear word of mouth throughout the semester, which ones are amazing and which ones they recommend. It really just depends. So, but ratemyprofessor.com is usually the one that students will have about Xavier professors. Do you have to purchase lab gear or will they be provided? It'll be provided. It depends on the course, but most things, if you are in a certain lab or if you're just taking a generalized biology or chemistry, they will have goggles, they'll have all that stuff. Really, the only thing most students have to purchase is going to be particular for that class, and it'll label that in the class search that you have. So sometimes it's a certain book, it may be an online passcode, it just depends on the class. What date of freshman show up for orientation? It's going to be, Manresa will start and move-in is going to be on August 20th. First day of class is August 24th. So it's a 4-day orientation program. That parents will move in, and then you'll have a welcome, and then you'll part ways. Parents can go home, the students will start Manresa and getting to know Xavier. And again, some of these things you'll get a sense of throughout that. That's why we have this orientation program to help ease you in and get to know Xavier better. Yes, that is correct. For T is Tuesday, R is Thursday, TR would be Tuesday and Thursday. This like S is Saturday, U is Sunday, SU would be Saturday, Sunday. Is it best to put books ahead of time or wait until the first day of class to ensure the professor will actually be using them? It depends on personal interest. I usually recommend, and there's different ways you can do this. I'm a big advocate of buying your major level courses, buying those books, make sure you're having them so you can use them at any point in time, and then you can rent your core courses. You don't have to, you can buy them used if you want to, you can buy them new, it depends on the class. Usually though, with the major, you might be using these books throughout your entire 4 years, so it's nice to have those. You are able to sell them back or rent them back or return them or whatever it is to certain areas. You can sell them for cheap, get some cash or whatever it may be at the end of the semester. So it just depends on the book. Okay. But it's up to you. Usually, I think most students, what they do, especially the first semester, is to get a sense of, they order them early, and then you'll get a sense of some of these books you can borrow from a friend that you had the class in the semester earlier. Some of them you can rent or you can check out a library or online. It just depends on the class, to be honest with you. And that's a case-by-case basis. August 20th is freshman move-in day. Yes, that is freshman move-in day. There is an option, and this will pop up later, for early move-in. I think it's on the 19th then. So that would be in that evening, and then everyone else would come that Saturday morning. I believe it's Saturday. When do parents leave? Parents will help. They'll help drop in. They'll pull up to the residence hall. You will be moved in, and then there will be a welcome in the early afternoon. I think it's like noon or 1 or something like that. You'll register. Before that, you register for Manresa. You register for everything, and then the welcome will happen, and then you say goodbye, and then you can part ways after that. So they'll be done early afternoon. Will we be able to take part in textbook sales for graduating seniors? Those have already happened because the last day of classes, and if I'm reading this question correctly, graduating seniors already sold back their textbooks or have given away to underclassmen that are currently here. So everything would have to be online. Many students will keep them and sell them online later. It's up to you, but those have already happened, so you have to do it through other means or through our bookstore. Moving in from is the 20th. I thought I saw something that moved in. Yep, that's early movement on the 19th. It would be that evening. There is a few students who are able to take that option. It depends on the space and how many people are interested. What if Manresa? Manners is an orientation. Thank you, John. Moving in on the 20th, correct. Manresa is the 4-day orientation program, yes. And that will be a number of things. So you'll have time to do a lot of sessions. You'll get to meet other students. You'll know a few upperclassmen. It's really just to help with transition. It's a lot of fun as well. A lot of great ways to get to know all things you're going to need about Xavier. So it's a great welcome program. It is about 4 days. Is it going to be crazy on the 20th of August? Yes, it depends on who you are. You will have a time slot that you will come in and move in. So you will have a time that we recommend that you be there. You will pull up to your movement. It's a smooth movement though. We have this down to a science now. You don't have to touch a thing. You don't have to lift a finger. We have a move crew do it all for you. You'll be pulled up to your residence hall and you'll be able to do all that. It's going to be nice. So you don't have to worry about it. It's pretty effortless. You'll wait in a line. When you pull it up, you'll start. Everything will take care of all the movement. Don't touch anything. But there is no move out crew for you guys. So that's all up to the parents to make sure you're doing that. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I help move in. It's just a great way for you to do that. I am bringing crates of food to attract seniors. Good. And actually, so the seniors will be up, or the people will be in Manresa so when I did it, I was up at 5:30 in the morning to help students move in and get ready. So they're all ready to help you move in. There will be a packing list for Manresa and everything, and there will be instructions on what to do and how to pack. Search for Manresa on Xavier website for all the information. That is correct. Thank you. I appreciate it, of course. The housing chat does not talk about moving, and that will be something we will have a Manresa chat later in the summer that we're looking to do. So that'll be more specific questions about moving and Manresa as a whole, so you can learn even more about it. But yes, what is the most common favorite food of seniors? So I know what to bring. To be honest, it's completely up to you. Most students are gonna love brownies, baked goods, anything like that. It's completely up to you. All right. Is there any specific questions about? I just want to make sure we have all of our questions about class registration done with, so that way you guys are. This is what this is about. Is there anything in particular that you guys are worried about, stressed about? I spelled chocolate wrong. Yes. When is the first day of class? It would be that Monday. So it would be on August 24th. So that Monday, you would start your first day of classes. All right. You guys have been great. I hope this is helping. I hope you learn more about the process. The biggest thing is don't if you have things you're not ask questions. We are here to help. So this isn't meant to be a stressful process. We just want to help you guys get used to the system. That seems to be the most challenging thing, is you're not used to what this looks like. And then start talking, ask questions about what you want to take and what's available and that sort of thing. We do check everything for you, so don't feel like you're going to make a mistake, because we will go over it and double check it. Living learning communities, what are those exactly? So living learning communities are a new thing we've added this year, as well as the freshman seminar. So the first year seminar is something you will take either first or second semester, and this is the class you would take with students to get to know about transition. It's about a number of things, basic things like financial advice. There's a lot of information that we provide. It's just another fun way to help the transition into college. Living learning communities are something you can sign up for a specialized class you would take, where you would take a class about whatever interests you, and you would choose that. There's some, and they're very creative. There's some that's it's called Obama, or it's Medicare or Obamacare, surviving the zombie apocalypse. So it's about like looking at issues. It's just a lot of things. So it's a lot of fun. So, and then it's a way that you can live with that. You can live with that class. So you live in that hall with that community. So you'll have one class with them, and then you'll live with them. So it's a way to really grow, and you're going to make connections really easily and meet friends really easily. So it's kind of fun to have that cohort kind of thing. And that would depend on where you live, what the community would be. Oh, I'm glad you guys are appreciating. It's good. It's great. I'm glad this is helpful. Yeah, that's my email. So it's herbert@xavier.edu. So feel free to reach out to me with anything. A typical class size is right around, we usually try to keep it around 20. It's about 20 to 25, depending on the class. There are some intro classes, such as intro to biology, that are going to be a little heavier or a little bigger. I think the biggest class I had a student was the intro to biology, and it was 50. But other than that, they're usually about 20 to 25. We want to keep them kind of small. You get to know your professors and other people in the class. For the idea, the smallest class I had was 5. That was one of my major courses. Perfect. All right. Well, I hope this has been helpful, guys. I mean, you guys have been great. Keep asking questions. The biggest thing is just let us know what we can do. I know I sound like a broken record, but we want to help you. This is not meant to be stressful. We just want to make sure you're getting used to the system. Reach out to us with questions and just let us know. We are here to help. I did this about 2 years ago, so I know how to move the system. And then the good thing is after this may seem stressful, but you'll be able to get pro at it next semester, so you will have no problems whatsoever. So think of this as just an opportunity to get used to how things work, and then you'll be fine. We did this for the first time last year, and we noticed that students were having no problems unless they had questions their second semester of their freshman year. So this is going to be helpful, I promise you. Yes, I would recommend taking the placement test as soon as possible. If you have time, again, don't feel like class registration is only on the 18th. You have about a month or so to do it, so don't feel rushed. But I would take them as soon as you possibly can, yeah. All right. Can we get the courses online before we start classes? There are ways if you go to that website or that particular major, you can see what is required of that major. You can email me and I can help you find it. That's probably the best way, so I can see which one's directly to you and look at the information. Or I can give you the chair's information and make sure that they help you get costs and everything. Of course, I'm happy to help. When do we know about our dorm assignments? You will get that later on in the summer. You'll get your roommates and their information. You can start reaching out to them about what they want to bring, carpet, TV, game systems, that sort of thing. So you have time. If we are in the living learning communities, how do we know when the class is? It'll be a step on Road To Xavier. It's a living learning community step. And I think I can pull it up now. So on Road To Xavier, you'll see so all these steps are things you have to or you have to do, and you can look into, learn about smooth. It's on here under housing. It is one of the steps. It may not be on this one, but it is definitely one of the steps. So it would be under housing information as well. I don't know why I can't find it, but it is there. I'm not sure if you know anything about sports trials, but if you have no experience in a certain athletic event, would you suggest trying out? Depends on what you want to do. If you're talking about Division I, then that's not something I would recommend. But if you're talking about doing clubs or activities, or you're doing clubs or I'm blanking on the name. If you want to do a club sport, essentially you can do that. They're pretty relaxed. You would pay a fee depending on the sport, and then you would travel and compete against other schools. So that has some travel involved, but it's really relaxed. It's a lot of fun. And then there are on-campus ones. There are going to be intramural sports you can do, and those are really relaxed. The grand prize for that, if you win, is a T-shirt. So I did intramural sand volleyball and soccer. It can be anyone. People who have never played before, to people who have played in high school a lot. So it's up to you how much time commitment you want. Club is going to be a little more of a time commitment, but still relaxed and still a lot of fun. I'm sure if nothing about trials, but do you have any experience and suggested trying out? No, definitely not Division I. Okay, yeah, a lot of them aren't tryouts. A lot of them are going to be, you just get a group of friends, or you sign up and they'll pair you up with a group. So you don't even have to try out for certain ones. There are some clubs you have to, but majority of ones you don't have to. So start out doing intramural. If you end up loving it, then go next year or next semester to the club level. So it's really relaxed. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to meet people too. So find some way to get involved. Is the only way to access the class registration after you play? Is the only way to access the class registration page after you take the placement test? I believe so, just because we have to know what you're tested into before you can take that. Or what you may be able to do is you may be able to take classes, but your advisor would reach out to you and say you were tested into this, so you can't be placed into this one. That's something that I can't see it because of the way the page is set up, so I don't know if you have access to it first. Intramural sports are, yes, that's correct. Thank you, Anthony. Cheerleading is what I asked about. Yes, you can do cheerleading. That tryout would be, they're usually going to be later. So the very first week of school, there's week of welcome. Every single day that week, there's an event going on our green space. One of those events is club day on the yard, where you're going to get to know all the clubs, and you can sign up for them, and cheerleading will be there, so you can sign up for auditions and everything there. Hey, wants to try, man. Can you tell us again how to get the hub, the word on the top that we click on? The hub is going to be something that will happen once you are a student here. So it's on the I can pull it up. You don't have to worry about it right now. It's only for, so everything you will do will be through Road to Xavier. So I don't want to confuse you guys. So go through the Road to Xavier website. That is where you will access everything. But the hub, and let me screen share again. The hub will be on the general page. So you would go to xavieruniversity.edu, and then it would be on the top. This is the hub, and you would just click on current students. And then this is the student hub that you have. So it'd be on the top, and then access to here. So the hub though, I don't want to get confusing, Monica's mom, just because that everything you should be doing is through Road to Xavier first. And then next semester, once you are a current student here, you don't have to do Road to Xavier ever again. It'll all be on the hub. And you can get to play around with that and get to know things. So there's a lot of information on there. And again, that's how you get to know classes and whatnot. Good, I'm glad it's been helpful. I've taken the placement exam, but I thought class registration was closed until 18th. It opens on the 18th. So if you've taken the placement exam already, you're not able to register. It's not until the Monday that you will be able to start registration, and then you have all the way up till June 19th to register as well. So you can change these throughout time. You can ask questions, email us. We just want to, we have a timeline or a time frame for you guys to do this, just because we know there's a lot of information we're throwing in. All right, perfect. You're welcome. Nope, you're good. Yeah, I'm glad. Just keep asking questions. I'm glad you guys are doing this. We are here to help. So make sure that you are doing that, and make sure that we are able to do that. There is no bad question. So I know that one says that a lot, but there seriously is no bad question. I went through this not too long ago, so I can kind of walk you through step by steps. You can reach out to your admissions counselor if you have a good relationship with them, and then you can always call. I can advise you anytime. You are very welcome. So if you guys don't have any other questions, we can end up. I know it's been a little over an hour, so if you guys have things to do, want to get to your evening. I just want to thank you all very much for coming out. I hope you learned a lot more about us and about the process as a whole. We just want to keep you kind of familiar with it. If you start getting stressed or overwhelmed, please don't be. We're here to help. Just give us a call, email us, whatever is easiest for you. We want to make sure this is as seamless as possible. But do just take time, respect the process, and make sure you are reading each step, because that is going to give you a lot of information, and it really does walk you through every single thing that you have to do. So take some time and make sure you're going through this. Have a good night, everyone. You're very welcome. Again, stay in contact with me. Let me know. I'm excited that you guys are hoping to be starting here in the fall, and all the students are coming. We are really looking forward to you on campus, and it's going to be one heck of a class. We're very, very excited for you guys. So when we register, do we do a major and minor, or a major in the core curriculum? Either one. So if you know that you are a major in math and you want a double major or add a minor in Spanish and the core curriculum, so let's say you're math. Let's say you take 2-3 math courses. You can take a Spanish class, and you can take so 2 or 3 math courses, Spanish class, and let's say you take a fine arts credit. That's 5 right there. You can take another one if you wanted to have time. So right there, you have a Spanish class you have to take for the core, and then it would double dip for a major as well, or a minor as well. So there's something, that's the beauty of the core, is it gives you room to explore and find new things, and you're going to be able to kind of just have a lot of fun with it. But it's also, they will count towards other things. So if you changed your major, if you were freshman year, you were a math major, then changed your major to business, those math courses weren't just a waste of time. They were courses that help you towards graduation. So every class you take is going to help you towards that. But there are certain times once you are a junior, it's really going to be hard to change majors, just because you've already done about 2 years or so of that. But most students, you're going to want to take a combination of each semester of core and major and or minor courses. So it's going to be about split. If you are undecided, then you'll take all core classes to help you discover what major you want to do. Can you start with a minor and change to a double major later? Yes, you can. What I would recommend is that you do the other way. Start off with a double major, and then if one gets too much, or you're not interested, or you can scale back. Because what you're going to need, most of the courses in order to be a major, you're going to take, or to be a minor, you're going to take in the beginning anyway, and then it's harder to add things, especially later on in the process. If you were a junior and you had a minor and you were double majoring but wanted to add another major, that would be hard to add that because you didn't plan that in. It's easier to say, I have 2 majors. I don't know if I want to do, I like sociology, but I don't know if I want to double major in sociology. I can add it to a minor later. It's up to you. But if you do it early enough and you started minoring in it and talk to your professor, you can always change it up to a major if you want to. How do I know the course requirements for each major? Again, it's on the website. email me. I can let you know, or we have you reach out to specific counselors or advisors that can kind of walk you through that. How do the first week of class usually go? Introductions or right into the workload? Both. It really depends on the teacher. A lot of times it's called syllabus week. So you're getting to know the teacher, the class, and the syllabus. So they're going to walk through the syllabi and be able to say, okay, this is what's going to look at. Sometimes they'll say, some teachers will give you a project that's due at the end of the semester that they're giving you now to help work on and start on, that sort of thing. It just depends on the course. Some courses, their syllabus is not that intense. It's just basic things, how the class runs. They may want you to introduce you to people. It's going to be a lighter week, but there are some classes that they will explain the syllabus and they will jump right into starting teaching. It just depends on the course. But it's going to be a lighter week for you to get to know the professor and then the class. Especially certain intro-level freshman classes usually that the students are taking, those are going to be a little more of a welcome. So I missed the question at all. All right. Well, if you guys are done with questions, I hope this really was eye-opening and helpful, guys. I'm glad I can get a lot of your questions answered. Email me, call me at any time, and let me know. So if I major in English and don't major in secondary education in the Spanish, how many classes would I take for my major and minors? Major courses are going to be a little over 40. It depends on the major, to be honest with you. There are some that are more. Most majors are about 40, 45 or so credit hours. It would take, again, it depends. The way that it works, so if you were secondary education, what you would do is you would pick your focus. So if your focus is English, you would have an English major, you have a minor in education that you would earn to take education classes, and then you can add a double major or a minor in Spanish if you wanted to. So, and then that, again, you would do that manually, so the first week of school, and then you would take, it's usually going to be about a little over 40, 45. It just depends on the major. There's some that are closer to 50. I know music education is a big one. They have a lot of majors or a lot of credits to take for that major. All right. You're very welcome. All right. Well, if you guys are done, I'm going to let you, we can wrap things up and say goodbye. Reach out to me. Let me know. I hope, again, this was helpful, and just keep in touch with us with any problems or anything that happens. So we're here to help. All right. Well, have a good night, everyone, and we will hopefully see you soon and talk to you soon. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. Goodbye.